behind the baller. My life is more than money and jewelry. My story's so crazy, dog. I said make a movie behind the baller. I went from playing sports to exotic whips. Ain't gotta tell me, dog. I know I'm the shit behind the baller. My life is more than money and jewelry. My story's so crazy, dog. I said make a movie behind the baller. I went from music exec to this podcast. Now I finally feel at home at last behind the baller.
Yo, what's good, everyone? You are listening to Behind the Baller podcast, which happens to be one of the greatest all-around podcasts in the world, voted by you, the listeners. I am your host, Ben Baller, aka Old Boy. Some of you call me the Forrest Gump of hip-hop, but I call me the Korean Liam Neeson. Yo, what up, y'all? This is episode 70. It is, yes, the weekend wrap-up. But you know what? Every fucking day, these days, is a Sunday, so I don't know, man. Do I change it? Do I not call it the weekend wrap-up? I'm confused. So I've seemed to hurt a few sensitive-ass people's feelings on episode 69. And let me tell you, some loved it, some didn't, a few hated it. But we hit number 29 on the charts, which means everyone listened to it. And I ain't telling y'all some rating shit like I'm Donald Trump. This is some facts. His shit don't be facts. His shit be on a fucking altered fucking scale. This the real shit. All right. More importantly, I do what I want, man. It's my podcast, right? I give y'all the good. I give you guys the bad and the ugly. But I always give you guys the real. All right, that's just going to be me forever. I have never inherited a reputation of telling lies. I've seen slander saying that I be capping. The only problem is, in reality, I'm realer than I am on this fucking show or anywhere else. All right, the best representation of who I really am is actually here on BTB. So let's get it started. Look, man, I don't really give a fuck about how many people have been infected at this point because it's just so fucking many, right? And it's not going to get to 100 million. I doubt it, right? You can't even fucking say never anymore, shit, because everyone's like, shit's never going to happen. And it happened. That's way, way more far-fetched. And from my, educated guess, it's not going to. But when the deaths in the USA get to 100,000, I'm going to start chiming in a little bit more. Because I just see motherfuckers still fucking up, right? Until then, the death toll worldwide is probably somewhere near, 500,000 right now? Even though the real media outlets have stated that China's numbers are way off by 20 to 40 times, I don't get why CNN or even the CDC hasn't updated the world with the death totals. Even be like, listen, let's just give that rough estimate that the White House and the sealed document, whatever, and be like, all right, this is what it is, boom, and throw it up there. Because the numbers aren't fucking official anyway. Whether it's official to them, it's fucking bullshit. Because it changes all the time and it's fucked up. All right? It's fucking silly. All right? Let me warn you guys, there will be another breakout in China, in Japan, other countries, because Italy looks like they're on lockdown. I don't know if Italy's going to let people in or out, and that's the only way they're going to keep it that way without a breakout. But it's just going to happen, with us because we just got too much fucking freedom here and it's fucking silly, right? The CDC is full of shit and they've been inconsistent since the beginning. They're supposed to be our encyclopedia, like our real Google, not Wikipedia, the real fucking encyclopedia, right? But instead they're doing the flip the switch challenges on the entire world, all right? Including the dick-sucking World Health Organization. I say dick sucking because they're talking shit about the CCP and then right back on fucking President Xi's dick. Okay. This dumbass Jerome Adams was making nursery rhymes saying the coronavirus wasn't as bad as the flu 2 months ago. And now he's saying this week will be the worst and most death that our country has ever seen. This will be our Pearl Harbor. Oh yeah? If you told me, listen, that's the Surgeon General, by the way, Jerome Adams, right? If Jerome Adams told me that my name was Ben Yang, I'd go to my safety deposit box and check my birth certificate 15 times. I'd have to check it. okay? Because this motherfucker is just stupid as hell. And to those of you morons who have been commenting to me, oh, so I'm going to believe a jeweler and not listen to the specialists who do this for a living? Look, man, all right. Me being a jeweler by trade, and yes, I'm a professional master jeweler, right? But when the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has caused thousands of people to get infected because of their wrong information and being late, and possibly led to, no, not possibly, sorry, they led, that bad misinformation led to deaths. Well, I've been telling you guys for months, I've been on group chats with doctors who are on the front line in China, Chinese doctors, Taiwanese doctors, Hong Kong doctors, okay? And with my common sense, right, and my legit knowledge, okay, you add all of that together, and yes, I went against the professionals in healthcare and disease publicly. I told you guys what was going to happen, and you still want to trust them? I mean, you got to just make sure you take everything with a grain of salt and understand what's fuck is going on. Okay? All right, fine. Being a jeweler has nothing to do with this. You have to understand that. I have people I trust, and I've seen things that made sense, and I gave it to all you guys early. Okay? Anyone who thinks this shit is going to be over by August or September is fucking tripping. I can't imagine shit getting to a point to where we could even enjoy a sporting event or just go to the movie theaters until 2021. I'm being dead ass serious. I'm telling you now. All right. And even then, in early 2021, there won't be a vaccine yet. Right. And if we had known about the severity of the deaths in China early, right? If we really knew, like, you know, they say, oh, the president. No, listen, man. If all of us really knew seriously how many people died in China, we could have done the mandatory shutdowns in February, right? Like February 1st. Shut down the borders for real. Said, fuck you, sorry. Listen, Kobe died. She won't have a special funeral memorial. You know what? I know it sounds fucking crazy. Too fucking bad. You know what? There's probably a motherfucking gang of people that got infected in that during the Kobe memorial. All right? Yes, it's fucked up. I'd make it like, I mean, what they should have did was they are not letting anybody fucking in or out, period. If you are an American citizen, you must be quarantined for 30 days. If you're coming into the country, you got to be quarantined for 30 days. If inside 14 days you don't show a single symptom and you test negative after 14 days, you'll be allowed inside the country. Okay? You do that for 60 days, then by April 1st, all right, and it's April 6th now. By April 1st, we would have been controlled. We could have controlled. We would have been had this shit under the wraps, all right? And maybe 10,000 people max would have been infected with it. But we couldn't contain it. And then, you know, if we did all that, we got the chokehold on it, you know, nobody coming into a country, you know, no one be allowed in without one of those 10-minute tests. You know, you could do those 10-minute tests for the COVID, and everyone's complaining about how many tests. We wouldn't need the 1.6 or the, how many fucking, they said we tested out 1.6 million people so far. We wouldn't need that many. We would have just needed them early. We would have prepared and had this shit ready, right? We could have saved a ton of fucking lives. And as fucked up as our economy would have been, the curve would have been done, and we could have been back to business by now. We'd be open. Sports could actually go on. Yes, it's contagious as fuck, but it's too late now. Because millions inside the UFC right now have had it, all right? And so now we got to suffer, all right? And some of us won't be able to. Like, they're not going to be able to survive this shit. And I don't mean that by the virus. I'm talking about the economy. And, you know, it's just a fucked up situation. I mean, again, we could have been over with this shit. We could have just been real strict, not let anybody in. I don't think you guys are understanding what I'm saying. we would have shut the borders down. No planes going in, no planes going out. Yes, it'd have been fucked up. Too fucking bad. We'd have let motherfuckers know what's going on. We could have had the stay-at-home order, but everyone would have had to fucking really been locked down, right? Everyone could have been locked down, but I mean, there was no fucking planes coming in. They'd have been like, all right, check this out. I know it sucks. Here it is. Look, we're fucked anyway. Regardless, no matter what the fuck you say it, no matter what you do, okay? People are fucked, all right? They'd have gave the test right then and there. It could have been managed, okay? But now in the situation we're in, April 1st, right? Ain't no motherfucking joke. I already said it. People miss their fucking paychecks, right? Look, come April 15th, there'll be more people who needed that next paycheck, okay? And then come May 30th, I hate to even put this out there, but it's just, I'd rather be, you know what I'm saying, give you guys, you know, the real, what I think, so you guys can prepare yourselves. But I think May 30th, people ain't working, which we won't, you know? I imagine people will be fucking hiding outside grocery store parking lots to rob people for food. Like, literally. There mean motherfuckers that break yourself for your grocery basket. They don't give a fuck what the fuck's in there. They know there's food in there, all right? The National Guard or these places got food banks going up, and the lines are ridiculous. At these lines, there's like almost 1,000 people in line to get, and then they're running out of food. It's scary. It's only going to get scarier, right? I read about a woman today who spent 20 years in Los Angeles fighting poverty. She fought half her fucking life fighting poverty when she came to America. And she finally got a job as a Mexican, Hispanic lady. She finally got a job, I think a few years ago, at Mr. C Hotel in Beverly Hills. And she was making $18 an hour, and she had benefits. And then coronavirus came, and she got let go, right? So now she's fucked. She's got 3 kids, one who has a learning disability. She's like 12 years old or something. And then she has another kid who has colitis, is 8 years old. Like, can you fucking imagine? Like this kind of shit. She can't find a job. She's been trying to get unemployment, but that's even been a challenge. She's trying to get food. I feel so fucking bad for this woman. I'm trying to find her, to tell you the truth, and I want to help her out. And like I said before, I can't help everybody, right? But fuck, if I come across a story, I'm going to try, all right? I can't tell you what's going to happen in August or October or December. I can't tell you what's going to happen for Christmas. I mean, I assume it's going to be real motherfucking sad. But I know damn well there's no way anyone's going to go to a shopping mall. I already said the movie theaters people ain't going to the movie theaters. Motherfuckers ain't going to restaurants. You know, look, man, you got dumbass bitches like Tommy Lauren. The fuck is that dumbass bitch's name? Tommy Lauren, whatever, who thinks this is a plot for the government to control the United States. Like, bitch, what else can they do? Right? Nobody is fucking listening anyway. They all think that shit's a joke. Everyone wants to be, and it's like, look, man, you're just fucking making it worse for everyone else. And they're like, oh, she's like saying, Eric Garcetti, you're giving too much power, putting people. Bitch, shut the fuck up, dumbass bitch. They keep upping the severity of the consequences, but still, it's not enough. All right. I went to go drop off some N95 masks to my mom yesterday, and the freeway was packed, right? We weren't in no traffic jam or something, you know what I'm saying? The flow of the freeway was 80 miles per hour plus, but still, it was fucking packed, okay? And then I hear from one of my homies, he tells me, he's like, oh yeah, finally they're gonna enforce martial law, right? Look, man, at this, to be honest, who gives a fuck, all right? They're still going to let people go to the market. That's not martial law, okay? Martial law is when nobody goes anywhere. Oh, your dad is sick? Too fucking bad. Oh, you're going to go visit your relatives? That's why you're driving 20 miles away to bring them food? All right. Too bad. Here's a $1,000 citation. And yes, this is going to lead to jail time if you fail to appear in court because this is a misdemeanor. And when this is settled, or if you violate this stay your ass at home order again, yeah, you'll go to jail. Okay. Staying at home, let me explain it again to you guys. Staying at home doesn't mean going to your homie's house, even though you ain't seen anyone else, you're seeing them. And you go there to drink, watch movies, and, hang out like everything's all sweet. No, it means stay the fuck at home. It means act like you got coronavirus and don't want to give it to anyone. Okay? Of course, I don't need to tell you motherfuckers to wash your hands and have sanitizer. And it's like, fucking even soap is running out. Like, look, man, you guys don't need to stockpile this shit. And again, you know what though? Yeah, actually you do, because you need to stay fucking home. Do you guys you ever try that game back in school where the teacher gave you a word and then she tells somebody the word in the front of the class, and she tells that person to tell or whisper it to the person next to them. And then they have to go around the entire classroom. And when the word went full circle, the word wasn't the same word anymore. You get it? Do you get the picture I'm trying to paint? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Motherfuckers ain't taking this shit serious. You don't think I want to go to Mario's like right now after this podcast? You don't think I want to go to Mario's and go get a pollo saltado and an Inca Cola? Okay. You don't think I want to go to San Francisco and chill and look at the fucking view from my window, the skyline and shit, while I'm high as fuck off that cat dick? You don't think I want to get back to work so I can make some money and provide for my family and do other shit as well? Okay. The smartest people in the room have all said, stay your ass inside and let's get this shit under control so we can attack it and kill shit again. Okay. I'm not trying to hear about no motherfucking bracelet or some fucking computer chip being put into you or some fucking new world order. Look, man, we're so close to a Great Depression and it's going to happen. All right. I've been telling you guys that it's been sprinkling and it's raining outside, and you still got people out there talking about, oh, I'm about to get a fucking car wash. God damn, man. Y'all are so fucking stupid. I don't get it. I don't understand how people don't comprehend what is actually going on. Okay? At some point in your life, you got to make a conscious decision and be like, listen, you know what? I just can't listen to the president. I don't give a fuck what country you're in. Okay? You know what? The specialists, these doctors, some of this shit just ain't making sense, right? It's just too much information. It's just, again, it's that the teacher tells one person one word and then it's fucking something else, right? They tell you, okay, coronavirus, COVID-19, and then someone's like, oh, I got COVID-47. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. If you touch your dick, you get AIDS, and then fucking someone comes to your house and knocks on your door and shoots you in the mouth. It's like that type of shit, okay? At some point, how do you not just listen to your own gut? And then some of these people, their gut is wrong, which is crazy. It's common sense. But if shit don't add up, it ain't right, period. Okay? And with all that said, this is not 5G, okay? Please understand that. 5G radiation cannot be spread through conversation. You can't be sitting in a motherfucking coffee shop talking to your homie and you got 5G radiation in your body because of some fucking tower that came out of your fucking house. When people are already out in the streets everywhere, they would have been seeing the shit going inside schools and walls and everything else. And it's going anyway, regardless, right? But yeah, hey, I'm just going to go see my homeboy. I'm going to go to fucking Coffee Bean. And then, yo, what's up? Hey, what's going on, Jimmy boy? Yeah, everything good? Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. And I got the 5G inside my body. It's going through my entire body, right? And then me and Jimmy boy slap hands and I talk to him, and then guess what? He gets fucking the 5G virus, right? Bro, that's not how that shit works, okay? I don't give a fuck if you don't want to take the vaccine for COVID-19 once it's available. I don't blame you, okay? I have never got a flu shot in my entire life. But check this out. When Japan figures it out, okay? When they get a real vaccine in Japan, you best motherfucking believe I'm taking that vaccine for sure. All right. I refuse to fuck with anything Johnson & Johnson is creating or anything that's being created inside fucking America, period. All right. Again, listen, man, it's not fucking 5G. All right. I've researched 5G. You know what? Went down a little foxhole. Guess what? Yeah. I believe the strength of how bad the towers and the frequencies and shit and like how it could be bad to our bodies and our skin and health and what, all that shit does and the radiation it still ain't coronavirus. It didn't cause it, anything else. It's just not, that's not what the fuck happens, man. Sorry. Okay. There also ain't enough towers up. Okay. People are like, oh, there was towers in Tokyo. There was towers in China. There was towers in Spain. There was towers in, motherfucker. Man, look, man. This shit, they're going to install 5G regardless, no matter what the fuck. But look, let's just get to real, like, common sense here, okay? We're going to slow it down and we're going to talk some sense, okay, for you stupid, dumb fucks. Do you think the CEO of Verizon and the CEO of T-Mobile would risk their own lives, would risk their own families and kids' lives over 5G towers if they were that fucking dangerous? And I'm not saying they're not, but what I'm saying, to the point of what's going on with this COVID-19, okay? Please explain this to me, all right? I want you to stop for 5 seconds. Okay, think about it. Let's just say you got a chance to make $1 trillion, $1 trillion more dollars for your company, which means, maybe billions for you, right? And let's just say, oh, you know what? You want to take out the middle class and the poor people or whatever, and whatever other conspiracy. One of my homegirls just said this shit to me and it fucked me up. It really bummed me out that she said this shit. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Where's the antidote to 5G? Is it a hazmat suit? Are there like radiation blockers? Like, I'm just curious, what do the CEOs to Verizon and T-Mobile do, right? Think logically. You're going to put this shit out there, 5G out there, right? That will allegedly kill people. Okay. So you're going to put your mom, your children, your wife, your loved ones at risk, right? That's what they're going to do. You're going to basically, you're going to do, or the government's going to do that, right? What are they going to do? They're going to be in their bunkers while this happens. You know how fucking dumb some of you guys are? You know how insane some of you guys sound? Oh my God. By the way, Dr. Drew apologized, but is obviously too fucking late. Dr. Drew, man, Dr. Drew is probably responsible for, I don't know how many deaths, tons of infections, because people believe him. He's a doctor, right? Because he has a doctor in front of his fucking name. You know how fucking doctors get sued on a daily basis for fucking malpractice prior to fucking coronavirus? You know how many, like literally, seriously, thousands in the USA, thousands upon thousands on a daily basis get sued for malpractice, okay? I had a friend of mine's dad who died off some simple shit. And it wasn't like, it was fucking, it's crazy, okay? If I ever see Dr. Drew again at BOA or at Katsuya, I promise to all the BBP listeners, I promise I will slap the motherfucking avocado out of his mouth. Okay? Now, when I'm talking about this crisis, coronavirus, okay? What I'm saying in these podcast episodes, okay, it's not about being right or being wrong. It's not about the glass being half full, half empty. It's not about being negative or being an alarmist or being a fearmonger. This shit is about being real, period. That's all it is. It's just about being real. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes facts hurts. You know what, man? Too fucking bad. All right? Anyways, man. Jesus Christ, man. That's a way to start a show. Jesus. If you recall from my emergency podcast, my boy Rich, he got the COVID-19 in New York. And I was supposed to meet up with him right after. Anyways, you remember that episode, right? So he's back today. He wanted to share a little more information about, his status and talk more about, the virus and what happened to him and where he's at, like mentally. So this is a real special treat. You guys have to understand how much of a blessing this is. Miles, can you give us a nice little interlude? We'll be right back with my boy Rich. So the last few episodes, I have told you guys about our new sponsor, Achor Gold, our official subscription platform for gold. Now, there's a lot of uncertainty with markets, and having gold is important to have just in case shit really hits the fan. Achor Gold lets you make small monthly payments and then sends gold straight to your doorstep every few months. I encourage all of you to sign up so that you're putting money into different formats that will increase during shitty times like these. It's valuable to not just rely on any bank account or paper money. This is something I wish I did in the last recession. Here are the benefits of Achor Gold. It's affordable. You don't have to pay out of your pocket all at once. It's convenient. Physical gold bars mailed to your doorstep. Achor branded gold is the highest quality, designed in California and minted in Switzerland. Subscribe for $30 or $50 a month. Once your gold stash reaches the price of a 2.5 gram Achor gold bar, they will discreetly ship your gold. You're in control. You can easily cancel or modify your plan to suit your needs at any time. Find out more by going to getacregold.com/baller. Achor is the sponsor of this Behind the Baller podcast episode. getacregold.com/baller. So yeah, you're listening to Behind the Baller. This is one of our very fortunate guests. He's also a dear friend of mine. He was on Emergency Podcast, the only emergency podcast we've had in the history of Behind the Baller. That was episode 65. His name is Richard Venezian. He resides in New York State. He is from New York. Yo, Rich, what's going on, man?
Hey, Ben, what's cracking, man? Thanks for having me on, or back on, rather. I'm fully recovered. Just wanted to reach out to you, talk to you a little bit, and let you know that I'm recovered, man.
Okay, so for those of you, again, who don't know, for you who skip episodes here and there, Rich is my boy. He had contracted the COVID-19 from a woman who he was just having a conversation with over the last couple or few episodes since his episode. It was stated by the CDC and the Surgeon General and many scientists that the virus was not airborne in any which way, meaning conversation, this and that. And then guess what? They did the flip the switch challenge without Drake involved, and it is fucking contagious, and it is highly likable that you can contract it from having a conversation, because Rich was in a coffee shop, and it wasn't like he was having an intimate conversation. He was having a regular conversation with a business, associate, and he had contracted the COVID-19. If you listen to episode 65, he breaks it all down there. And now it has been, how long now, Rich? Has it been since since the day you get tested?
It's been a little while now. So I got tested on March, I want to say 18th. And then I got my result back on the 20th.
Okay. So Wednesday, March 18th, Richard Venezian got tested. He got his results on the 20th. It has been now it has been almost 3 weeks. Yeah. And it's been about just over 2 weeks since he's tested. Well, the results came back positive, but it's been, Okay, so can you do me a favor? So tell the people, since you got tested, you went positive, and then you went back to get retested, correct?
So when I got my results, when they called me 2 days after I had gotten tested, they told me I was positive. It was a whole thing, and I was on the phone with them for like an hour, and they were telling me all the rules of isolation and such, and I was, from that point on, before that, I was being taking as much caution as I could around Sarah and my son, because Isaiah's barely 2. We didn't know at this point, that it wasn't really affecting kids, although I think it still could. That's one of the things, is there's so many different avenues of information that it's scary to figure out.
That's out the window now, Rich. Kids are dying now from it. Kids are getting it. It's
I was being as precautionary as possible that whole time. They told me, you got to stay away from everyone for another week. I had already been doing that for like 10 days, just because in my mind I was like, I'm sure I probably have something that's not okay to be around my kid with. So my parents had started getting sick at that time. They were tested 3 days after me, the following Monday. Their results came back positive.
Of course.
That Monday, my grandmother was also admitted to the local hospital, and she tested positive. She was having trouble breathing, and we had to call an ambulance to come get her. This is all happening while I'm like in my own isolation within our house. My
Yeah.
grandmother, we live with my family. We're all together here. And Sarah, like uh, just going back to what you just said, I lived in LA for 12 years and I'm from New York. The plan was move back to the East Coast, shack up with my folks. They got a nice big house. They're going to help us save up to put a down payment and become homeowners, like just like anyone else. That's the dream. We want to own our own place. So we're all here, living, Sarah and myself, the baby, living with my parents, living with my grandma. And she tested positive that following Monday as well. And she's 83. And she, man, unfortunately, she held on for as long as she could. She fought it. She was hanging on for a couple of weeks there, and we lost her this past Tuesday.
For all you guys who listened to episode 69, I had mentioned that Rich had lost his grandmother, and Rich wrote, even though I obviously hit you the day of, my condolences again.
No, thank you. I appreciate that, of course. Man, honestly, like, so many of your people reached out to me. Like, there's so many listeners. I mean, since I know you personally, Ben, I knew that you weren't going to really get into this game unless you were going to do it right. And you're doing it right. And I could say that because after I went on your show, the outpouring of love and like just support from just strangers like that I received, people just like, hey man, chin up, you're going to get through this. Yo, good looking out, helping us, spread information. Just so much support came through. And then even after my grandmother, like still these same people that just hit me back up like, oh, my condolences. And these are strangers, but they know my story through your platform and they felt, enough to reach out, and that shit moved me. Like,
no, man, anything that could help you, brother. I mean, I was there for you as well. And I'm glad that came about. I think your job was, well, you're not required. I just think in your own mind, you already felt like it was an obligation for you to let people know what's going on. So with that said, when did you go back to get cleared to retest for COVID?
So the following 1 week after they called me with my positive test, when they first called me with my positive test, they told me, okay, a week from today, you're going to come back in and we're going to retest you. And if that comes back negative, then you're going to be good.
So on the 27th, you went back or no?
So they called me that morning and I was like, hey, by that time, by the way, I had been feeling good for about good for about 4 days.
Okay.
So I was like, man, I'm ready. Still isolated though. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to do shit without them telling you you're good because like I said, I'm not a healthcare professional. I don't know. So
right.
I'm feeling good and I'm anxious. I'm anxious to hang out with the kid, anxious to be back around Sarah. And they called me and they're like, hey, so we're not going to have you come in to test you. And my heart dropped. I was like, what? And they were like, so here's the situation. We are New York State, they said, was under 5% of the remaining tests that they had. And they're only going to be using them for people in dire need, not people on the recovery. So they were like, have you had any symptoms in the past 72 hours? And I said, no. They sent me a log when I tested positive, like a log on an Excel spreadsheet that I had to fill out, like my temperature every morning, every afternoon, every night, any symptoms that I had, like as they decreased. For 2 weeks, they had me filling that out. So I got through a whole week of that, 5 days with no symptoms. And I was really expecting to go get tested. And they were like, unfortunately, we don't have enough supplies for you to come in and test you. But if you've been symptom free for 72 hours, we're going to release your isolation time. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm still kind of scared, still kind of freaked out. And they're like, if you want to give it another day, you can. So I gave it 2 more days of me still being alone, waiting for, you know what I'm saying? Still not having a fever. Like I said, it's a scary time. And even though they're telling me I'm okay, it was just, I had gone through too much in my head at that point to really don't want to say not trust health professionals, but I wanted to get tested. I had gone through that
No,
whole
come on,
week.
of course, dog. I know.
You know, I had gone through that whole week with the anticipation of getting retested and getting that call saying negative, like you're good now. And
I mean, I'm a little shocked, to be honest with you. I'm you know, like,
dude, it's crazy that we don't have enough tests. Like,
no, I know it's stupid. But with that said, Rich, man, is there any? Listen, I didn't write any notes down. I didn't write shit. I'm just freestyling it because we talked this morning. We thought about it. Look, man, is there any doubt in your mind that you think? Listen, let's not talk about your grandmother. We'll get to that in a second. Is there any doubt in your mind that this virus is just some fucking weirdo shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't you think in your mind, as an American, as someone who's infected, because there's a guy over here, I forgot his name again. I mentioned him on the podcast like 4 episodes ago. He was in that Princess cruise in Japan that docked in Yokohama.
oh yeah.
And he had the virus for 37 days. He felt good for 4 days, felt good for 8 days. He felt like shit here and there. But he was fucking, his incubation period was damn near, 40 days or something, right? So with that said, I mean, don't you feel like you should have been retested?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I have yet to go around people.
Yeah.
Like within my house, like I'm still doing this. Like I'm like hanging out with my family again, who have, we did the best we could to not expose them. But
I get it.
But this shit is insane.
Yeah.
Like chances are Sarah was exposed, but she just didn't. Sarah's my wife. You know that. But
for those of you who don't know that, Sarah is Rich's wife and is my wife's best friend, Nicolette's best friend. Go on.
So, like, chances are we did as good as we could, but chances are she was exposed and nothing really happened. Like, she didn't feel good for a couple of days. We're not sure if it was allergies. We're not sure if
no, she. I'll put it this way: she probably had it, but then her body reacted different to it. Some people have, some people don't. Who fucking knows?
Exactly. With that said, like, it terrifies me that this could still be, like, my body might have beaten it, but it could still be in me. I could still be contagious, even though I'm currently...
They keep checking people for temperatures. Like, hey, let me check your fever. Hey, what about the fucking 45% people who don't have any symptoms and they're carrying it worse than fucking anybody else and they're contagious? What the fuck is checking the fever going to do? I'm just being... Listen, people are like, hey, be positive. No, I am being positive.
Yeah.
Having good defense wins games, man. Having good defense,
you're being realistic.
Yeah,
you're being realistic about it, and that's what more people have to be.
You're checking everyone's temperature. Oh, it's great. Okay, what about the motherfucker that got no fever and is carrying it? What about Kevin Durant? Whatever. So, with that said, let's get into a little bit of difficult before we. So, I'd rather get the difficult part out of the way.
Yeah. So after, obviously my parents, they tested positive, and they're on the mend. Actually, they're a few days behind me. I would say that they're probably, as of today, 100%. And they got their quarantine isolation period was lifted the same way.
Can you please tell me your parents? Please tell me your parents' ages.
My parents are both 58.
Okay. Well, that's young. I don't know. Rich, your parents are young. Fuck.
Yeah, my parents. Yeah, my mom's actually a big fan of yours, bro. Her name's Monica. Shout out Monica. She's a huge Ben Baller fan.
That's great. So
yeah, that's funny. So they, they were okay, but since they tested positive, since I was positive, when my grandma went into the hospital, obviously we weren't able to go and visit her.
Yeah, of course.
So we were really hoping. There were a couple days there where she was doing okay, and we were like, okay, all right, she's coming out of this. And then they gave us the word that she wasn't really able to breathe on her own.
Did they give her a ventilator or no? Would she have access to one?
No, she did not have access to a ventilator.
Fuck me, dude.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. She was 83, and it by like her 6th day in the hospital, it turned into pneumonia, and she already suffered from some light dementia here and there, but once she had pneumonia, we talked to her on the phone. My dad talked to her on the phone a couple of times, and he when he hung up, he told me, he was like, she's in that in between. She was kind of already not the same person. It's difficult. She was an only child. My dad was an only child, so like they're very close. We we didn't get to go see her in her final days, and that fucking sucks. I would have really liked to have. We all would have wanted to. And then we're also not given the opportunity to like have a proper service, a funeral, a wake, like these things that we never really thought twice about. You like, oh yeah, when your grandparents move on, like I honestly like I was like, oh, it'll be an honor to carry her casket. Like, it's kind of like the last honorable thing you could do for a human. I don't know if that sounds morbid, but
I mean, I don't think it sounds morbid. I think that's actually kind of, especially at that for a grandparent, it's morbid. Maybe if you're talking about a 7-year-old or a 25,
Yeah.
But I mean, I've carried a lot of caskets, unfortunately. Carried both my grandparents, and we gave them, the proper beard, but my grandmother and grandfather are buried next to each other. My mom set that up, but I can't imagine.
We wanted to be able to do that.
I can't imagine. Like I mean, do you feel like
that was just taken away from us? We got no closure.
Yeah.
She just left in an ambulance, and we never saw her again. And now she's gone. Like we didn't get to go see her in her final days. We're not going to get to have services and any of that. And they're gonna, she has a plot in the Bronx already next to her parents. So eventually we're going to bring her there, but they're not going to hold the body that long. So we have to cremate her. Like none of this was planned.
First of all, I just want to let you know, nobody's going to get to hold the body, period. No matter what the fuck happens, unless maybe in January next year when this is like, they can kind of whatever. It's protocol, dude. They can't. No, everyone has to get cremated, which is crazy because I don't want it. But anyways,
it's crazy.
Did they give you an information? Like, are you going to get an urn? Are they going to give you an urn or?
Yeah, we're gonna be able to get an urn. We were able to drop off clothes, like outfit that we thought that she would that she would want to be in. Just shit like. It's wild, man. It's just difficult stuff
crazy.
That we never really thought about having to deal with. I know that everybody dies. I get that. Everyone's going to die someday. And my little sister said this to me, and she was like, there's not a right way for someone to die, but the way this is happening is for sure the wrong way. Like, we should be able to have these moments and these memories. Like, funerals and wakes, that shit, my grandmother's gone.
No, there's healing, dude. There's
but
healing.
Like that for us, when people have a funeral or wake, that's for the people left behind for like a celebration of life, and like that's just taken from us and everybody that's passing away.
Before I ask you something that has to be asked, let me go back. I'm petrified of death. I've had the worst. I've always been in fear of it here and there. I've accepted it definitely much more in the last 10 years. And then for some reason in this last couple of weeks, I've been having nightmares about it, thinking about my kids because I just want them to be, I want to be with them for as long as I can, right?
Of course.
So with that said, with your sister saying there's no right way, I'm going to be honest with you, man. You get past 88, 90, and you got grandkids and you have kids that have done well and they've been decent people in society, and then you die of natural causes. Yo, man, I'm sorry. To me, that's the right way, dog. I'm sorry.
I totally agree.
Yeah, that's what it is. So that's where I slightly. It's not a contest or anything. I'm just slightly disagree with your sister. Now back to the slightly, not even morbid. I don't know. This is just an awkward question I have to ask you. But how do you actually feel right now? Then, how do you feel about this?
There was a few days that. First of all, like, it's a wild thing because my health is back, and like I've worked out the past 3 days. Like I've gotten back to like myself, but I'm constantly pushing out of my mind, like, am I responsible for my grandmother's death? Like I have the benefit of speaking with someone. I've been speaking with someone since I relocated back to New York. I've always been very big on therapy. And a lot of people are gonna have some crazy anxiety and depression because, like I said, I have the benefit of being able to like speak to someone about this stuff. But if I didn't, and I had these thoughts in my mind all the time, like no one, dude, you can't feel like you're responsible for someone's death. But man, it is what it is. 99% likely brought something into my house, and now someone that I've loved my entire life is no longer here, and that shit fucks with you.
And let me say this then, Okay. In the most positive way, you 100% brought it into the house, right? Whatever. Okay. So whatever it may be. But let me say this. Had there been better information, had we known there was over 100,000 deaths by February in China, had we known that if you see 3,200 deaths, you look at it like, shit, man, okay. Well, there are some deaths, okay, there's another 4,000 or 5,000. I'm saying at the time,
Yeah.
there's, by end of February, oh shit, well, there's 4,000 or 5,000. It's starting to get bad in Italy. Shit, okay. Well, we have 7,000 deaths here, whatever it may be, the math. You're still like, okay. Now, if you knew that there was 250,000 deaths, you got to look at it way different when you're leaving your house even. And look at, you didn't even know that New York would be a hotspot. I mean, now people are treating New York like the American version of Wuhan, right? So with that said, Look, man, you didn't have the information. You didn't fucking know. And listen, let's just say it wasn't your grandma. Let's say it was Derek Jeter. That somehow, some way you shook his hand. You're the last person to shake his hand and he didn't see anybody for whatever, he got sick and he died. People are going to fucking say what the fuck they do, blah, blah, whatever. Listen, no offense. Fuck Derek Jeter. This is your grandmother. This is your family. This is whatever. Whether she didn't affect 17 million people's lives from playing a sport. I mean, this is someone who's in your family, your blood, and your name. So I'll tell you, dog, listen, bro, there's nothing you could have done about it.
Yeah. It's a wild thing. It's like a wild feeling.
Yeah, it's a fucking crapshoot, right? I mean, I say it a million times. Had I seen you that day, you'd have already met that chick.
Yep.
There's no fucking way, even though I wear my mask everywhere, there's no way I would have took my mask off. I would have kept my mask on with you. There's no way I wouldn't have gave you a halfway hug, the man hug, the fucking the pound.
Yeah.
At least 3 handshakes, and at least a 2-foot conversation where somehow, some way, no homo, I would have been spit some motherfucking droplets. You would have spit something. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been something.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Look, I was gonna blame you and whatever. My son could. I mean, who knows? Everything is crazy. I mean, it's great that your physical health's there, but we got to get your mental state back.
Yeah, most definitely. I have a good friend also for people who are dealing with similar shit or they're dealing with anxiety, and she's a mental health counselor, and she's right now giving free services. So feel free to other people reach out if they need to talk to someone, and I'll
What's her
direct
name?
them to
Just by
her name is Kate. Her name is Katie. I'll just say her first name. Her name is Katie, and yeah, she's a mental health counselor.
So then DM at Richard_Venezian, and I follow him, so you see on my followers list. And then he's someone I've brought up before, and obviously I'll probably tag his name in the post when this episode airs. But I got a question for you. Do you have Twitter by any chance?
I have a Twitter account. I rarely use it. I should definitely push it back up though.
I'll be honest with you. When it comes to news, Instagram will never be as fast as Twitter. And Twitter's always been the reason why I kept Twitter. And Twitter's for the low-life scumbag dirtbags. So all the fucking great memes start from, and I love it. You know what I mean? I keep Twitter.
For sure.
But that's where I really do a lot of my shit talking with this. And me being like, hey, man, the Surgeon General said not to wear this. Surgeon General is saying, oh, the flu is bigger than the fucking coronavirus. All kinds of people are saying crazy shit. And you know what people say? People say, why the fuck would I listen to you? Even though he's been proven wrong. Even though the CDC has been proven wrong. And I've been right since the beginning of February. People have said to me yesterday, why would I listen to a jeweler? And I'm like, let me say something real quick. Why the fuck would jeweler have anything to do with what's going on right now? If I've been telling you all this, there's knowledge, there's information, there's privileged information I've had in conversations with surgeons, doctors, scientists that are in group chats, and my friend owns, my business partner owns a hospital, things like that. I have privilege to some of these things and information, and I, input them into my brain. And when I regurgitate them out into words, whether it be tweets or anything, I'm careful about what I'm putting out there in the universe, because if I fuck up, I'm responsible for lives. So now if you're a Surgeon General, you're responsible for millions and millions of people, and you gave them bad information not once, not twice, but like 3 times. Listen.
Continually.
My record's legit. So with that being said, Rich, from whatever you know, from conversations, from podcasts, from Instagram, do you feel in any which way, and listen, don't be biased because we're friends, please. Do you feel in any which way I fear-mongered and I was an alarmist to people? I'm being honest.
No, real talk. I think that you saw this coming, and you wanted to make sure that people were informed. And I think that anybody who's been using their platform like that is doing a service.
All right, that's just I just wanted your honest opinion, And so now,
No, that's honest. That's real talk.
So my next question now, the future of this is, I think we're not going back to any kind of normal shit for 12 to 18 months, bro. I'm sorry. People think that June, July, August, oh yeah, we'll be back September. No, dog. I don't care if Trump said August, September. Let me tell you something quick. How the fuck are you going to go to Madison Square Garden, Barclays? How could you go into a place that holds 17, 20,000, 30? Have you guys lost your fucking minds? I'm just being curious. Out of any, even social distancing, whatever, you can't social distance in a stadium. Like, some of these people are still in doubt. They're like, you're so negative. You're so crazy. You know how stupid that sounds? Motherfucker, you guys thought this shit wasn't going to happen in the beginning. And now it has. And it's not even, we're not even at the worst part. We're not even, it's
we're
April,
still early.
Man, it is fucking April 6th and we're not at the worst part. And listen, I'm just getting what do you think? How long do you think till America gets back to just good, not even normal?
Man, I would love to say it is going to be the summer, but when I tested positive, they literally told me that I was the first person in my town. Like, so we are so far ahead right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way it's going to be within this year.
Yeah. There's no way.
We're so far ahead, and it makes me sad. Like, that shit breaks my heart. I don't want to say that and believe it. Like, everything inside of me.
2020 is canceled, dog.
Dude, I think 2020 is a wrap. I really do. And I am not a Laker fan, but I was rooting for the Lakers this year.
Yeah.
And I really thought they were going to win it.
Yeah.
But I do believe 2020 is canceled.
I mean, it is what it is, dog. Is there anything you want to touch base on? I think we covered all the bases and everything.
No, man. Again, Ben, I appreciate you using your platform to help inform. I appreciate you giving me an outlet. This shit is therapeutic for me, man. And like, that really is, obviously the coronavirus is really taking a lot of people by storm. But like you said, the mental health aspect is going to be really important. It's going to play a big role in a lot of people's lives moving forward, because so many people are going to lose someone close to them.
And I want to thank you, because there have been places where people say, well, let me ask you a question. Do you actually know somebody? You actually know somebody who has it? I'm like, motherfucker, not only do I know somebody, I have a friend who died this week. And on top of that, I have a good friend whose grandmother died who got infected from him. Like, this ain't no joke. This ain't no hoax. This is real.
Yeah, man.
Not
this
even in 1%.
As real as it gets.
Yeah, real talk. So,
nah, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Rich.
If there's one more thing I could say, it's just rest in peace, Nanny Julie, Julia Santiago. We love you very much. Shout out Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's it, man.
All right, brother. Well, hey, Rich, man, thanks again. And you guys, we'll be back. Miles, a little music would help. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it, man.
All right, brother. Be well.
So, yo, man, this is the part of the show where we answer fan questions. If you do not know how this goes, you go to the Apple Behind the Baller podcast page. You leave a 5-star review in a form of a question. Some people just leave a review, which is all good to me. I can't edit reviews, right? So if you guys left a fucked review, it is what it is. But we happen to have over 2,500, 2,600 5-star reviews. Is actually more than even No Jumper and huge shows. But anyways, appreciate you guys beyond belief. It's a very high rated show. And let's get started with these questions. D-Nice110 writes, what's good, Ben? Was you in the movie Kazam? I'm assuming the movie was Shaq. Nah, I wasn't in that movie. So, no, I wasn't. So, let's see, what's the next question? Goat Talk. Hey, Ben Young, my girlfriend surprised me with a short clip from you on my B-Day, Valentine's Day. Damn, you really got me with the whole look under the table for a chain made by me thing. Been listening to your podcast and following you since way back. We may have different upbringings, cultural influences, and connections, but you give me a lot of faith and motivation as a Korean American growing up in the States to work hard, grind, and just do the right thing. Sidebar, my parents own a drive-through liquor store near your old spot in Slauson. So hearing your stories about being able to relate to you in the most minimal sense also gives me hope. I think I actually, well, I mean, there's a few of them, but I possibly passed by it. I'm pretty sure I have. My question is, say you have around 150 to 200,000 saved up and you don't have the most brilliant, unique, or different business idea. Would you still purchase some sort of business to secure a steady income first? Or would you keep your 9 to 5 and purchase a home first? Business or house, which comes first? I am 31. Bro, let me tell you something real quick, because you wrote this question during this pandemic and recession. If you got 150,000, 200,000 save up, let me tell you something right now. Right now is the time for you to cut your entire overhead down as much as possible. Any new clothes? No new clothes. Don't buy no motherfucking new clothes. If you got to buy underwear, hey man, buy some motherfucking Fruit of the Loom, something that's comfortable. Buy Hanes. Buy some Hanes boxers. Just buy some basic ass shit if you need to do that. Girls are a little different. It is what it is. But listen, you motherfuckers could be inside for a long time. With that said, I don't think that gold would be that bad of an idea for you to buy. I don't think you need to buy a ton, but I think, if you were to buy some gold coins, remember, you want to buy these at a good price. You know what I'm saying? You want to buy gold close as possible to spot, right? That's not possible most of the times. A lot of people don't have access to getting gold, and a lot of people get screwed. Just got to be smart. Stocks right now, I wouldn't touch anything. Real estate, it's not the time right now. Now, when it is the time, trust me, that time will come soon. And if that's the time you got enough to do that, and your 9 to 5 is still secure and you have a job, look, man, in about 2 months, maybe even 3 months, 4 months, you're going to be able to buy a house for way less, and you're going to get way more than you ever bargained for. So I would hold on everything. That's real shit, straight up. RJ Hahn writes, tattoo, love the podcast. What was your first tattoo? My first tattoo was a yin and yang on my arm, and I was 19 years old, 18 years old. Long fucking time ago, right? It's almost 30 years ago. Errol God writes, what up, Ben? Hope you and the fam were doing well during this COVID-19. What are some of your favorite bear bricks in your extensive collection? Love the pod. Keep it up. I love the Fendi. I love the 25th anniversary bait. It's kind of like a Jeffrey Koons tribute. I love the ready-made bear brick. Love that to fucking death. I love the fucking emotionally unavailable with the light up part. That thing is so fucking dope. I love the original OG CDG Comme des Garçons Colette pieces. Those are definitely my favorite joints. Next question is Mauricio D. Munguia, I believe. Ben, what is success to you? Success is when you have defeated any kind of bill or any kind of overhead you have. Your bills are done. On top of that, on top of your bills or any of your overhead, you have generated income 10 times the value of all your bills, everything you have. Success to you is when you have been able to take care of somebody in your family that needs it or doesn't need it. Success is when you own your home. After all the stuff I've said above, you own your home. And again, you have no debt. And success is being able to take care of your family. That's a big thing. You got kids and a wife, hold them down. That's a big deal. Riley Poole writes, ulcerative colitis and Nick Van Exel. Thanks for talking about ulcerative colitis on your podcast. I've always had similar symptoms all my life and ignored it. I was diagnosed with it several weeks back. You got any stories, including Nick Van Exel? He's my favorite Laker growing up. Back to colitis, especially ulcerative colitis. You should listen to Mike Rapport's podcast. He doesn't talk about it as much anymore, but if you go back a couple hundred episodes, you go into like the 300s, he's very, very, in 200 especially, he talks about ulcerative colitis, very heavy. For you, it might not be an issue, but I did notice that taking red meat, even taking any kind of meat out, made a huge difference. Nick Van Exel, not a lot of stories, man. I love watching him. He's one of my favorite players, left-handed. He was so fucking nice. He was nice for Cincy. He was nice for the Lakers. One of the only real interactions I had with them was I was friends with Anthony Peeler. I was friends with a few other Lakers. And one of the games, Nick Van Exel played, Lakers played against Houston Rockets. And this is when Kenny Smith, before you saw him on TMT and Inside the NBA and all that shit, he played for the Rockets. He played on the championship team, by the way, too. Anyways, Nick Van Exel came to the club bar that I was DJing at. And I was like, yo, what happened, Kenny? What's going on, dog? What's up? And he said, man, too much Nick Van Exel. And I looked over and Nick looked at me. He's like, what's up, man? You the DJ? I was like, yeah, man, I'm the DJ. And I said something kind of fucking fucked up. And I think that fucked up our whole shit with each other, man. But I had said, he reminded me, in a way, he kind of looked like Willis from Different Strokes. I shaved his head. It was just fucking stupid. I don't know why the fuck I said it. But that's like the only story I got of Nick Van Exel. Rude214 writes, what's up, Ben? Been following you since day one of the podcast. Keep putting the friends on. Just became a father again to a baby boy. When all this madness dies down, any way I can ship my Topps card and get it signed. Much love. Hope the fam is healthy and well. 100%. I will make sure you can ship it. And when all this is all chill, ain't a big deal. Definitely. No offense, but yeah, need to send a return fucking address with like a return postage, and you be good. I'll sign it. And to tell you the truth, I got hobby shops calling me right now. I was on the front page of the sports section of the Seattle Times yesterday, and that's a big deal. And hobby shops now are asking me to sign these cards, and they're going for good money. They're going for over $100, and that's already 5 times. And then the artist proofs are going for fucking stupid money. They're going for $1,000. So it's, it's crazy with the autograph on there, because I designed it. I think it definitely brings value to it. I'm not gassing myself. I'm being honestly real. Your worst night pair writes, if you had unlimited amount of money, what would be the first couple things you do to help the world? The good thing is I wouldn't need to help people immediately in my family. There's a couple things. Actually, you know what? I got a family member who I won't mention who could use some help. It's not help that I could just give him right now. It's just a thing that it's just an annoying thing that he should, whatever. Anyways, I would help that person out, just outright, boom. Just stop that. When you see like someone donates $30 million, $100 million, $5 million, and you're like, who has the kind of time, right? But if you sat and actually physically gave people certain amount of money, like cashier's checks, things like that, or pay, whatever it was, whatever the most you could PayPal somebody, or the most cash you can give somebody, like you had stacks of cash, you could go do something. And I would physically go down somewhere where people were hurting, and I would somehow secretly make sure they were pulled to the side and break off. I would break people off with like 100 bands. I think 100 would get them started. I think that'd be able to get them an apartment, get them some food, and then from there, try to figure something out. If they couldn't, oh fucking well. A lot of people be fed and they'd eat and whatever. Believe it or not, I would go with the poverty-stricken before the homeless, because the homeless, it's real difficult, man. It's a tough situation to get them back on their feet. But I'll tell you more about it, because I read this crazy-ass story about this lady who fought poverty. It was real fucked up. Shine M writes, lost my job from Corona. Hey Ben, Shane here. Big fan of the pod and your work, especially the kids line you had. I'm an apparel cut and sew designer out of San Diego. Recently lost my job to the Corona thing. I was wondering if you had any recommendations of what I can do, or companies you may know of I could possibly email or reach out to. I'm 25, hungry, and want to keep working, designing, and getting better every day. Let me be completely real with you, dog. In the designing business and in cut and sew and in fashion, it looks grim, dog. That's as positive I could sound. I don't know if that's going to really be an area you want to get into. If you can find a pharmacy, a grocery store, a nicer grocery store, anything that deals with groceries, markets, things like that, they're going to be hiring. Might not be a lot of money, but hey, man, if you want to work that, I think construction might still be, that's a lot of hard work. They might be hiring, they got a good union. If you're with like Trader Joe's or something like that, they got good unions. If you could work for a corporation that design masks, a lot masks are needed. There's going to be millions, and I don't give a fuck, there's 15, 20 companies right now. There could be 100 companies. There's going to be 330 million people are going to need multiple masks. So there's going to be 1 billion masks that are needed. So, that might be one thing right there. Duff 1106 writes, ill question. Any thoughts expanding VVS or Ben Ball to the strain and any other cannabis ideas and ideally in Chicago? You know what, man? I had that idea. Right now, it's obviously it's nothing I can even think about right now. I can't even, until I get some hardware in my hands, meaning VVS hardware, so I can send it to Illinois to get it filled and get white label out there. Right now, man, it's not on my agenda. The Brojas writes, "What up, Ben? Stefan from Gardena, California. Awesome show. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but yours is the only one. I'll stop what I'm listening to and put yours on when a new one is out. Thank you very much. Do you like JDM cars? If so, what are your top 3 Japanese cars you would own? Thanks for the coronavirus info. 69 to 71 Skyline, but something pristine that I can redo the suspension and slam that bitch on the ground. I'd love to have an RX-3. There's one for sale right now, and the thing is local buyer too, local seller too. It's a couple things I'm not really crazy about the car. I don't know if I really want to go through an entire paint job, which is not that bad. Again, I don't know if it's time to be buying a car. I'm real tempted to. And Datsun 510 station wagon definitely will be up there as well. I'm not really give a fuck about the Supras. I don't really care about the Evos and things like that. Definitely more of a vintage dude. And yeah, 510 station wagon done up right. OG Skyline GTR and RX-3. Those are definitely the 3. Samar 323LA. Yo, what up, Ben? Love the podcast. A long time fan. I've been following your work for a long time. Never forget the big panda you made, Jonas. I bought and still have the collab gold watch you did with Neff. Fuck, man. I have one of those laying around somewhere. I can't wait to let my son wear it. My question is, will you ever do another affordable watch collab in the future? Also, will you ever do any other BB leather goods like a backpack or travel bags? BB leather goods will come when the economy comes back. Even though a backpack's kind of essential, I just think, that's later on for sure. Another watch collab in the future. I definitely want to do a G-Shock. I'm going to wait a little bit. And I think it'll happen. That's not necessarily the most affordable. That might be a $250 watch. Whereas, some people think it's affordable, some people don't. The Neff watch was a very special watch. I won't lie to you. They were very, very affordable. It was a great collab, man. I wish I definitely want to do more of that again too. Nathaniel_G writes, "Yo, Ben, awesome show. I am hooked and listen daily. I also have been enjoying your IG lives. Question, what has been your favorite thing to do during this quarantine, and how is it going to change how you live your life going forward?" The favorite thing I've loved to do during this quarantine is swimming, riding bikes, and doing minor exercise and sports with my kids. Teaching my daughter how to catch a ball. Teaching my sons how to throw a basketball into the hoop. Riding bikes. They got a new bike. And then Ryder inherited Lennon's old bike. Going swimming. Ryder's swimming is getting a lot better. That time spent with the kids, it's almost made up for lost time. And going forward, I just got to keep it pushing. It's got nothing to do with work or, it's just more of a family thing. Stay at Dad writes, "Ben Baller, best podcaster. Ben, I'm from the IE. Your show is the best, man. Shout out to the Dust Brothers. Paul's Boutique is one of my favorite albums. Ben, can you speak a little bit about skateboarding? One, they're not the Dust Brothers that produced Paul's Boutique, the Beastie Boys shit. But yeah, they produced some amazing shit. They just didn't do that album, which is a fucking amazing album. It's definitely legendary. A little bit about skateboarding. I got into skateboarding in... Fuck, man. Let me think. My brother is... Yeah, by 83. 83, I got into skateboarding. I don't know what it was. I got into skateboarding. I went to go... 83, I was 10. So yeah, you know what? That's what it was. I went to go visit my brother in Berkeley, California. And there was a skateboard shop right by Blondie's Pizza, right by Fat Slice, right over there on Telegraph. And my brother had some money. And he was like, "Hey, man, I'll buy you a board. It's cool." So he bought me a Santa Cruz deck. And I bought a Santa Cruz board, had independent trucks. They might have been Thunder trucks. I'm not sure. Don't remember the wheels. Eventually, I remember getting some B-52s back in the day. There's old school shit and some OJ2s and things like that. And I just started skating around the streets. And at that time, man, around 85, Christian Asoy, legendary skater, we're actually friends now. Christian moved he had a little place in Koreatown on 6th and Oxford. And I started skating here and there. And then I started going to this one shop in Palisades, very far. But it was called Olipop. And it's funny because, goddamn, why the fuck am I drawing a motherfucking blank right now? What? Pasquale Pasquale, who started EDC and Insomniac and everything else, he was skating around that time too. There was this local dude named Damon Geller who was fucking insane. He's a surfer, but he was crazy air, man, which the motherfucker was just lit when it came to skateboarding. And at the opening of that Olipop store, I met Nadas Kappas, and Nadas is probably one of the most legendary street skaters ever. And Tommy Guerrero was there. It was the first time I ever seen pro skaters, man. It was pretty crazy. So like seeing him now, always had this thing, and I was dope. I ain't gonna lie to you, for what it was back then, I could skate. You know what I mean? I was fucking around, quarter pipes, half pipes, and people are like, "What the fuck is a quarter pipe?" Quarter pipe was what the fuck you had to do on the street, and I was skating, man. I was fucking one of my favorite things to do. Undefeated Chris writes, how did you meet Tyler, the Creator? What were your first thoughts of him? When I met Tyler, it was funny, man. Tyler's very opinionated. He is from Hawthorne. He was coming to Fairfax. He had a group, and he was already crazy. Goblin, what the fuck was the song called? Jesus Christ, man. Oh, Yonkers was out, and I thought he was super creative, and he was just, he just wasn't the dude you see on the camera. In person, he's just a goofball. He's a funny young dude. I fuck with him heavy. He's was very talented, and he got more and more talented. He studied a lot, the old school shit. He's a real smart dude, man. He's always really cool. We hung out a lot. I'm super close to Tyler. It just sucks because he had some beef with Nipsey Hussle. I never really spoke on that before, and it's kind of a weird thing. I think Nipsey kind of shit on him in a weird way. It's just, Tyler's a weird dude. When I say weird, I mean that. He's unique. He's cool in a weird way. He's just different, man. Met Tyler in Fairfax 12 years ago or so. He was young, man. He's 29. He was like 17, man. It's pretty crazy. DFSN writes, what up, OG? I've seen your quarantine meals, and they don't look that bad at all. What's been your favorite quarantine meal so far? It's this fried brown rice with stir fry. All these stir fried vegetables, a lot of butter, a lot of garlic in it. Once in a while, I'll throw a little spam in there. Sometimes I throw some salmon in there. But the garlic and the butter is just what makes it. It's this special fucking fried rice. It's just fucking incredible, man. It's so good. Maury 2009 writes, wasn't a fan. I'm not even going to lie, Ben. I wasn't a big fan of you or your podcast, but that quickly changed when I gave your podcast another chance. Now I can't get enough of them. I picked up one of your top baseball cards to support you. My question is, do you believe there are intelligent life outside of the earth? Thanks, Ben. You know what, bro? I don't really know, man. There has to be, if they say that the earth is just one of a million galaxies, and even though it makes sense to us, right? Somehow, some way, it makes sense to us. The basic math, 2 + 2 =. I think there's definitely something more. It's got to be something out there, right? But if there's millions of galaxies out there, and we're one of them in the Milky Way, and we're just one area, who's to say, right? Who fucking knows? Because it would take what? Let's say it took 17,000 years to get there. I have no clue, bro. I would guess yes, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was. Gabriel Feff writes, hey, Ben, love the podcast. Thank you for keeping us informed much earlier than the rest of the country was. My question was, which pieces have you made for Kanye, and what is your favorite one? Kanye's got a lot of small, tiny little gold, like crests, like brooches, things like that. But my favorite project with him was the plastic Jesus pieces for Pastel. I think that's legendary. We're supposed to do something soon, and I just haven't been able to. There are some grills. The plastic Jesus pieces were legendary. That shit was before anyone's time. And man, even now, shit was bring that back, and we'll motherfucking crush that shit. Pacheco Mark writes, yo, my name is Mark out of Riverside, California. Your podcast is 10 to 10. Amazing, bro. So much free game and knowledge about COVID-19 from the past few weeks. Bro, very much appreciated. Quick question. I saw Norton and Alex on your live a few days ago, and I was wondering if you ever talk to them, if you would ever get them on the pod. It'd be cool to talk about esports and see where their beginnings are, so on and so forth. Thanks, Ben. Keep on coming on. I would definitely have Norton on there. I would have Apex on there. Alex would be on there. Norton and me are very close, man. Norton's, he's one of the main owners. And definitely, man, I'll have FaZe on there. And, right now I'm about to start just gathering a list and start knocking these shits out. So this would definitely be something that I would jump on for sure. So definitely, man, for sure. Baha Yaha JDKF JFK. I don't know what the fuck's. Hey, Ben, great podcast. Always informative. I'm from the Bay, but I just moved up to Portland. My girl actually went to Albany High, LOL. But I want to ask about your experience with motorcycles. I'm thinking of getting my license. Is it worth it to get one? Any advice and good tips on riding starter bikes? And if you ever ride again, just for leisure, one love, keep holding it down for the Asians. Look, man, there's people who ride cruiser bikes. There's people who ride, some people just love motorcycles, right? Me personally, I was a sport bike cat. You know what I mean? I like, Japanese race bikes. I owned a couple Italian dope ass bikes. I'm not a V-twin fan. You might not know what the fuck that means or anything else. I think a good starter bike at this point, I've been out of the game so long, it's 2020. If you were to get anything that was from 2012 up now, or anything that kind of like still had a warranty. So, if you get a new bike, cool, man. They do finance plans and everything else. I think Portland's probably a lot safer than it is out here. There's other bikes that, necessarily aren't sport bikes. I don't know what you want, but I think you should get at least a 600. They're so light now compared to back in the day. I wouldn't get on 250, man. It's just you'd grow out of it and you wouldn't like it. A 600 is definitely as fast as you fucking need to go. You'd never probably go that fast. Definitely take some courses. Learn how to ride for real. The more you ride, the better. But the courses will help. For me, I've been riding all my life, so it didn't matter for me. And always know this. This is nothing negative. This is the absolute truth. And every motorcycle rider will tell you, when you get on a bike, you're gonna start out, you're gonna be a squid, and you're gonna finally learn how to ride. I don't know if they split lanes in Oregon, not really sure, but you gotta be careful of cagers. Cagers is a slang for people in cars. A lot of people who are super into bikes don't have a car. I was actually fortunate to have both all the time. The reason why I said this is negative, it's not gonna be negative, but it's the realness. When you're riding your motorcycle and you are a bike rider, understand that it's not if you're going to crash. It's when you're going to crash. When you're riding down the street, it could be, completely clear. You're good. You're cruising, nighttime. You got to think in your head, all right, listen, a cat's going to run out right now in the middle of the street. Someone's going to pull out and not see me. No one's going to be able to see you. Always assume, just like with the COVID-19, assume you already have it and act like that so you don't infect anybody else. When you're on your motorcycle, assume that nobody can see you. Another advice, if you can, upgrade your horn to get it louder or get a loud exhaust. Loud pipes save lives, it's true, but understand you will go down. Wear protective gear, always wear a helmet, always wear a jacket. Don't try to be that cool guy wearing fucking sandals and a fucking shorts. It's just so fucking dumb. When you do get road rash, it is the worst fucking thing in the world. I've been down many times. Good luck. Keep the rubber side down. Seb23 Oliva writes, Yo, Ben, Sebastian from Salem, Oregon. Been listening since episode 1. Huge supporter. Bro, my question is, which exotic car brand do you see leading the future in the super and hypercars? I think Ferrari's just going to keep their legacy going on. As far as the real future of shit, I mean, Ferrari's always going to be there, but I think McLaren right now is fucking kicking ass, and McLaren is really, really doing the thing. I'm just not a super fan of the brand. I don't know, man. I think I'm just going to stick with Ferrari and keep it classic. And they've had the past, they have the present, they got the future, and they're just doing their thing. And Ferrari is the way it is. Red Key Gang all day long. That is the last question, and that is it. My man Miles, you already know what to do right now because his name is at Lakey Inspired. Let me get that. Yeah. We'll be right back with the outro. So we're back. Some of these IG lives have been good, man. And on Saturday night, Lil Jon battled T-Pain. And I think Lil Jon just had too much gas in the tank. But it was fucking fun as hell to watch, man. Everyone was in that bitch. Even Netflix was in that motherfucker. All right. It took me to a different place. Right, I reminisced heavy about the 2000s. I went back to old pictures and shit and just videos and in my iPhotos and stuff. And man, I can't wait to see who's next, right? They're saying that Dr. Dre's gonna battle. I don't know who the fuck. Kanye, fucking Drake. I don't fucking know. I can't wait to see the next battle. I haven't had any movie nights with the fam, but I watched the new David Blaine special. Let me tell you guys something real quick about me. I fucking love magic. I love magicians. It's been something I've loved since I was a little kid. Right? I used to go see magicians all the time in Vegas. I go to the Magic Castle. I took my wife to go see David Copperfield on one of my our first dates to Vegas. And even though David Copperfield is very pop when it comes to magic, right? He's still insane. This motherfucker is so sick to watch. Like, this motherfucker, bro. Like, I've seen fools do incredible shit, like make a plane disappear, be on a motorcycle right in front of the shit, and all of a sudden end up in a fucking helicopter. It's just fucking crazy, right? There's obviously, I'll say smoke and mirrors. Listen, I don't give a fuck. It's right there. It's amazing. Okay. David Blaine does that street magic. Okay. He's in your face. No props, no nothing. He's just right there. Right. And the motherfucker sometimes comes with no sleeves. You know what I'm saying? Short sleeve shirt. Super fucking fresh. Show is so fucking good. I can't believe I've never met dude yet, but I can't wait to meet him. I mean, hopefully one day I do. If you haven't watched his new special, check him out. I watch it on demand on your local cable. If you have DirecTV or some shit, I don't know. You know what? I'm curious. Is there anybody here who does not have cable? Like legit doesn't have Comcast, Spectrum, whatever the fuck, any cable, no DirecTV. Is there anybody who has none of that? And I'm sure, now you could, right? You could just have Wi-Fi and then, on your TV, smart TVs and shit they got, or whatever, you got fucking, what's that shit called? Voodoo, whatever. I don't know. I'm just curious. If you do, can you do me a favor? Can you leave me a fucking comment or on the podcast page where you do the 5-star reviews? Anyways, it's on ABC. It's fresh as fuck. Please don't miss it. It's so entertaining, man. It's so good. Man, I'm telling you, that's the best thing. Tiger King just wasn't it for me, man. I'm sorry, guys. Look, everything else is great, and this podcast is amazing. I don't know, man. Dude, I know people loved it, and there's parts that were cool. I think that people are just bored. It wasn't that hype. It wasn't Don't Fuck With Cats. It wasn't that good. Tommy Lee, the drummer from Motley Crue, is also the most famous person in the fucking group, which is crazy, right? It's like how Travis Barker was the most famous in Blink-182. Anyways, he wrote this amazing open letter to the president, to Donald Trump. His vocabulary in that open letter galvanized me. It was just so fucking good. Wow, man. I never in a million fucking years thought that Tommy Lee could use fuck and dick fuck and all kinds of curse words and articulate himself so brilliantly. It was fucking amazing. So, okay. Now to the fun part. All right. This is the part of the show now on the weekend wrap-ups where we feature the Jackass of the week.
Yeah, Jackass.
Now, don't forget to submit your Jackass of the week
Jackass.
at benballerpod@gmail.com. Okay. We don't have music for this part of the show, but we'll get there. So let's go. This week's Jackass of the week is Jay Mazzini.
You jackass.
He's a Palestinian. And listen, because I'm affiliated with fucking Jews in Israel, this shit got nothing to do with this at all. But it just is what it is. He's a Palestinian, fake motivational speaker. He's a fucking con man who's been on that fuck shit since he probably first got onto the internet. I have no idea how long, but ever since I've seen him, he's been on that bullshit. I can tell, right? I've seen him with these fake deep speeches and try to get into that whole shit. Like, man, bro, I grew up with Persians, Palestinians, Lebanese, Arab, everything you can fucking think of, okay? I don't know how the fuck he's got his videos onto World Star, but me being an executive, an OG member of World Star, I'm going to have to do some executive order and make sure this motherfucker is put to rest on. There's no more that I can't have that shit on the site, all right? We can't have his fake prophet speech pollute the fucking air. All right, his shit's worse than COVID-19 fucking 97, motherfucker. COVID-19. Anyways, so last week he made a post about selling N95 masks. Okay, which, whatever. There's a lot of people who are making a profit off this shit, whatever. The problem I got on it is, and by the way, on his post, he disabled the comments. You know you disable the comments because motherfuckers is talking shit. You ain't trying to hear that, right? You wouldn't ever hear me disable. If I'm disabling comments or something, it's not that. It's just be like, because everybody, the info's there, and I don't need nobody to ask any questions. But he disabled his comments, and that's not the problem. The problem is he's been talking so much shit about COVID-19 and coronavirus and saying that it's fake, okay? But on the caption on the post where he's selling the N95 masks, He's like, look at, I got masks for sale, only bulk orders. He's talking about that. Please only inquire if you want to order 1,000 masks minimum, 1,000 masks minimum. Okay. DM me for prices and don't bluff. Serious inquiries only, and that was pretty much the gist of his entire fucking caption. All right. But check this out, fuck knows. You've been saying this coronavirus pandemic is a sham. You said this shit is just the government pumping fear. Okay. You still have that bullshit propaganda on your IG page. And then you make a post about selling N95 masks?
Yeah, jackass.
Why the fuck you care about masks? Why are you? Oh, because you're now you're just basically making a profit. You're like, fuck it, there's a business opportunity here. These people are stupid because this shit it's fucking bullshit, right? Are you going out in public and going to a grocery store without your mask on? Go inside a motherfucking hospital, no mask on. Do that, Jay. Jay, do me a favor. Walk into the number one fucking hospital in New York City, in the Bronx or in Brooklyn. Go into the hospital with no N95 mask and do an Instagram live video. Do that. All right. Okay. If the virus is a hoax and it's not real. All right. You put a post up talking about these stats. Fucking Ebola killed this many. Fucking this killed this many. How many have died from smoking? And then how many people have died from car accidents? How many people have died from AIDS? While coronavirus is way less. Look, man, let me tell you something real quick. First of all, let me stop you for 1 minute. Remember, smoking is a choice, dumb fuck. But wait, hold on. You go back to the post where he's selling the N95 masks and he edited the caption on the post, right? He edits the caption and says, yes, we are also donating some masks too. Like, bruh. Man, someone DM'd you and then sent me the screenshot, man, said that you told them a price and that price actually was at a serious profit, okay? All right. Then you make a fake post about donating them to the local hospital. Bro, you are faker than a $4 bill, okay? And then you got motherfuckers on there talking shit. And you got your little clonies or whatever, the fucking people who follow you, your little clan. Man, good for you, man, right? But don't bring that shit my way. Okay. This motherfucker DM'd me yesterday talking about, hey man, what the fuck is your problem? You need to get off my jack. All right, you older than my dad. Like, man, bro, I was ready to DM, be like, nah, bro. First of all, hold on, check this out. I'm richer than your dad. I ain't on that fake bullshit. I made $8 million the time I was 18. Man, shut the fuck up. All right. I'm just calling you out because you're a fraud. All right. Dave East even exposed you. Right. You deleted the posts. Because I just seen the shit like, I don't know, earlier this week, or I mean before the last week, right? You deleted the post about you buying a brand new G-Wagon, all right? You like made this thing like, I work hard. But no, fucker, you ain't working hard. You faking the funk, man. You selling dreams. Bro, what motivational preacher who has a mentor academy, MLM, MLM, what motivational preacher post pics of them in front of Lambos and at a Mercedes-Benz dealership talking about, oh, I bought this G-Wagon for my wife and this and that. I love my wife. Man, shut the fuck up with all that fake-ass positivity. I don't even know you might be fronting for the gram. You may not even have money to have. I have no idea. And I'm not counting your pockets, man. Anyways, doggy, you are the jackass of the week, Jay Mazzini.
You jackass.
You lucky as fuck that I didn't reply to you, man. Listen, don't get into that tough talk with me, bro. I will have you gobbled up in the pandemic, in your city, in New York City, in the Rotten Apple, dog. Chill out, bro. How motherfuckers from Jersey do that shit, man. You need to chill. You know what? There's actually an honorable mention, jackass of the week. And it's this 17-year-old Latin singer. Her name is Malu, or M-A-L-U, Malu Trevejo. She was saying some super ultra racist shit about Chinese people, talking about anytime when I get next to a Chinese person, I hold my breath like, and I cover my mouth like, bitch, really? Stupid ass bitch. Like, and then she gave a fake apology. Apology is so fucked up. It's like one of those like, oh, I just lost my sponsor, so let me just do this just to save face. Her apology was so fake and so weak. She's a 17-year-old entitled dumbass twat. All right. And then she does Fashion Nova ads immediately after that racist ass IG live. Look, man, I'm going to have to talk to Richard. Rich is the CEO of Fashion Nova. Like, fuck that, man. Fuck that. Fuck her and anyone who rocks with her or anyone who even fucking looks like her. Shit, man. What else? Oh, yeah. I made a video on how to clean and sanitize your jewelry for Hypebeast. And they posted it. It got a fucking great response. Appreciate all the fucking love and the DMs and everything. Like, if you didn't know, we have the best. No, I'm not kidding. We literally have the best at home, travel, whatever you want, wherever the fuck you are, jewelry cleaner. Okay? It literally takes off all the dirt, grime, the germs, all that shit. And it shines. It makes your jewelry shine. It makes your diamonds and gold or your watches look 10 times better than it ever did. You know what I mean? It looks brand new. It really makes your shit hit. It's like some kind of degreaser in the ingredients. It's just fucking amazing, right? It's IF&Co. fucking this foam cleaner. I need to see when we can start shipping again. But once I do, I'll make a discount code for BTB listeners. The cleaner is legit as fuck. I got Tyler and Cuddy addicted to it. These motherfuckers be buying 5-6 bottles at a time. And look, it's not cheap. But if you're buying jewelry from me, it's 100% worth it. Okay? But man, yo, check it out. That's all the time I got for today. I love y'all. Always remember what? Say it. This is not your practice life. Okay? And yeah, we're going through shitty times. I know. And I said this, man. I said it before and I say it now. These tough times shall pass. Okay? Please, everyone, if you're not subscribing, subscribe. Please spread the word about this podcast. Imagine how many lives could have been saved off of the early episodes when I first started talking about this virus. God bless. Lakey, at Lakey Inspired. Please take us home, my G.